One of the world's biggest banks says 1/3 of China's trade could be done in the Chinese currency within 5 years. HSBC says the yuan is set to be more powerful on the world stage. Two influential Chinese economists are calling for the yuan to be floated as a way of controlling inflation. Inflation in China is a concern, but some analysts think Beijing's measures to cool the economy will start kicking in later this year. Sue Lannon reports.
Consumer prices are running at high levels in the world's economic powerhouse, but some economists say Beijing's attempts to cool its economy could soon bear fruit.
So long as Chinese authorities can keep tightening policy for another 3 to 4 months, and then the inflation is likely to reach the peak around July or June and start to slow meaningfully into the second half of this year.
Chu Hongbin is predicting a soft landing as China raises interest rates to curb rising prices.
But we're not worried too much about the risk for too sharp slowdown to keep the GDP growing at the pace of nearly 9% this year.
Others see a firmer fall to earth, with areas like manufacturing and housing already feeling the heat.
It will grow below its trend pace, so we will see growth numbers in an annualised sense that begin with 8s, occasionally that begin with 7s, and that's quite a letdown from the 10 or 11% which we saw late in 2010 and early in 2011.
And there could be a slowdown on another front. China is the world's biggest steel maker, but steel producers are facing higher commodity prices and fragile demand because of natural disasters and the crisis in the Middle East. Accounting firm Ernst & Young says with margins being squeezed, it will be survival of the fittest.
Because of this lag effect of input costs, that there will be still pressure for steel prices to go up during the year, and we would say that most of the major steel producers are working with their marketplace, their customers, to see how they can give that effect, because they're under some significant amount of margin pressure at this point in time.
Two influential Chinese economists are calling for the Chinese currency, the yuan, to be floated as a way of fighting inflation and increasing its value.
That's not going to happen in the near term. I think Chinese currency will continue to appreciate against the US dollar, particularly when the US dollar weakens further in the coming months.
Instead, Chu Hongbin is predicting that 1/3 of China's imports and exports will be priced in yuan in 5 years.
For the Chinese exporters and importers to increasingly use their old currency to settle their cross-border trade with the rest of the world, that will enough to make the renminbi one of the top 3 currencies being used in the global trade.
15 to 20% is a reasonable expectation there. I think there are going to be some constraints and there is going to be some pushback from other countries, and that's a robust negotiation between consenting adults.
It remains to be seen if China's huge demand for resources will be enough to change the face of commodities trading.